All right, these are the answers from yesterday's starters. You're solving the equations and making sure that you check the answers. So we've got 7m is equal to 49. Remember that this means 7 times m equals 49. And a lot of you already know what that is, but we're going to roll through the actual process so that we can remember how to do that. So we circle the m and we split the equation down the middle. The opposite of multiplying something by 7 is dividing by 7. So we divide both sides of the equation by 7 because whatever you do on one side of the equation, you have to do on the other. 7 divided by 7 is just 1m, and we just write that as an m. And then 49 divided by 7 is 7, and then we check that by coming up here and do 7 times 7 is 49, and that is true. All right, we've got 4t is equal to 20. That means 4 times t is equal to 20. We circle that t. We split the equation. The opposite of multiplying something by 4 is dividing something by 4. We're undoing that problem, doing the opposite. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and that leaves me with 1t that we just write as a t. 20 divided by 4 is 5, and then 4 times 5 is equal to 20, so we know that that's true, and we're going to circle these answers. Next one's a little bit harder. We've got 3/10 x is equal to 2 4/10, and remember that this means 0 3/10 times x, and that equals 2 4/10. We still circle the x. The opposite of multiplying by 3/10 is dividing by 3/10. This is the step that tricks a lot of you, so I'm going to take that a little bit slower. So 3/10 divided by 3/10 is still 1, and then we're left with 1x. And then we've got 2 4/10, and we're going to divide that by 3/10. You can't divide by a decimal, so you have to move the decimal over one place so that that's a 3, and then you move the decimal over one place inside the division box, and that will make that 24. And then 3 goes into 24 8 times. 8 times 3 is 24, and 24 minus 24 is 0. The decimal point, if we put it in, would be at the end, but typically we don't put the decimal point at the end. We just say that that's 8. And then we check that problem, and we do 3/10 times 8. 3 times 8 is 24. And then since there's one number after the decimal in our multiplication problem, there has to be one number after the decimal in our answer. So that's the correct answer. And then 25 is equal to b divided by 5. We can write this as b divided by 5, and that equals 25. Some of you don't like it written in that order, so you can also change the order and do b divided by 5 equals 25. All of those things say the same thing. We're going to circle the b. The opposite of dividing by 5 is multiplying by 5. If you divide something by 5 and then you multiply something by 5, those two things cancel each other out, and it just leaves you with 1b. And 25 times 5, 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 125 is equal to b. And then we can check that by doing 5 divided by 5. 5 goes into 12 twice. 2 times 5 is 10. 12 minus 10 is 2. Bring down my 5. 5 goes into 25 5 times. 5 times 5 is 25. And 25 is the answer here, so B is equal to 125. Make sure that you check your answers, make sure that they're right, and then make sure that your answers are circled.